Biden unveils migration plan, capping America's summit. Roiled by way of department. Los Angeles. U.S. President Joe Biden and fellow leaders from the Western Hemisphere on Friday rolled out a brand new set of measures to confront the regional migration crisis, in search of to salvage an America's summit roiled by using department. Biden's aides had touted the migration statement as a centerpiece of the U.S.-hosted Summit of the Americas, and 20 nations joined him for a ceremonial unveiling of the plan even though several others stayed away. Capping the summit's very last day, the White House promoted a chain of migrant programs agreed by way of international locations across the hemisphere and Spain, attending as an observer, which pledged a greater cooperative technique. But analysts had been skeptical that the pledges are significant enough to make a massive difference. Those measures consist of the United States and Canada committing to take greater guest employees, imparting pathways for human beings from poorer countries to paintings in richer ones, and different nations agreeing to more protections for migrants. Mexico will also receive extra Central American people, in step with a White House declaration. "We're remodeling our approach to control migration within the Americas," Biden said. "Each folks is signing as much as commitments that recognizes the demanding situations all of us share." The flags of 20 international locations, several fewer than the variety attending the summit, festooned the degree in which Biden led the rollout. But that range become most effective accomplished after days of U.S. strain. It changed into every other signal of tensions which have marred the summit, undermining Biden's efforts to reassert U.S. management and counter China's growing financial footprint in the area. That message changed into clouded by using a boycott through several leaders, which include Mexico's president, to protest Washington's exclusion of leftist U.S. antagonists Cuba, Venezuela and Nicaragua. The lineup became thin to 21 touring heads of kingdom and government. The management, dealing with a report flow of illegal migrants at its southern border, pledged hundreds of millions of greenbacks in aid for Venezuelan migrants, renewed processing of family-based visas for Cubans and Haitians and eased the hiring of Central American people. The bulletins were a part of the unveiling of U.S.-led percent dubbed the Los Angeles Declaration, and aimed at spreading duty across the region to include the migration hassle. The plan culminates a summit designed to re-establish U.S. influence amongst its southern friends after years of relative forget-about beneath former President Donald Trump. Biden proposed an financial partnership to help the vicinity's pandemic restoration, although it appears to be a piece in development. But on the summit's opening on Thursday, leaders from Argentina and tiny Belize rebuked Biden over the visitor listing, underscoring the venture the worldwide superpower faces in restoring its reputation amongst poorer friends. On Friday, Chile, Bolivia, the Bahamas, St. Lucia, Barbados and Antigua and Barbuda joined the complaint, although Biden was now not gift. No one ought to exclude every other U.S.A. Mexican Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard, sitting in for President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, said from the podium. The classes this week regularly rang out to U.S. composers John Philip Sousa's The Liberty Bell March, popularized with the aid of the traditional British comedy show, Monty Python's Flying Circus. There's nothing here. U.S. officers scrambled until the ultimate minute to influence skeptical governments to return the plan. The leaders vowed within the announcement to bolster countrywide, regional and hemispheric efforts to create the conditions for safe, orderly, humane and regular migration. Standing together with fellow leaders, Biden insisted, illegal migration isn't perfect, and expressed desire that other nations might be a part of the plan. Eric Olson, director of policy at the Seattle International Foundation, referred to as the statement a beneficial framework, but said it might in all likelihood have limited near-term effects due to the fact it is non-binding. Some initiatives indexed with the aid of the White House were introduced formally. Biden's aides have cast the immigration plan in part to assist ease U.S. hard work shortages. Jorge Castaneda, a former Mexican overseas minister, stated pledges from the Americas need to allow Washington to argue it had secured essential commitments, a domestic, political plus, for Biden.